How's it going, everyone? My name is Dylan with Yahoo Esports. I am joined here with Thorin at the MLG Columbus Major. Thorin, did you expect that result?
In terms of the match, not really. I actually thought Na'Vi was favoured overall, especially when I saw the maps come out. These are three of maps that really have put Na'Vi into the position where they're one of the best teams in the world. In fact, my prediction coming into the final when I saw the maps come out is I actually thought it would be Na'Vi would steal Luminosity's pick, which is Mirage, because Na'Vi is one of the all-time great Mirage teams. Then I thought when they went to Na'Vi's pick, which was kind of like they were trying to be a bit tricky there, picking Overpass, because they bragged they had some boosts, they said, which we never actually got to see. I thought actually Luminosity would win that. That's the one I did have Luminosity favoured for, because to me they're like specialists on that map, and they've got something at the moment that not many teams can face, especially because people like Astralis, Virtus.pro, the other very good Overpass teams, not in the best form, so they're not going to meet them there. And then I thought if we went to Train, Na'Vi are the best at Train. And it's a very good Luminosity map, but Na'Vi's got a little bit something extra on T-Sad than anyone. We never got there, obviously. So really it was the shocking result of map one that really just set the whole tone for the series, because once Na'Vi lost that, I did favour Luminosity on Overpass. Now, what I did not realise is how overwhelming the win would be on Overpass, because I always say about Na'Vi, okay, they might tilt, like they might get angry if they lose a round, but they're never going to actually choke. Like, every time they lose, they get 9 rounds, they get 10 rounds. They're always going to keep you honest, as it were. Like, they're going to be right there behind you, and then if you make a mistake, they'll punish you, they'll win in overtime, and it's like, they make it real hard for you to win. Well, on the second map, yeah, I have to say they made it very easy, actually. Yes, Luminosity's level was very, very high. They carried that over from the first map, but I actually feel like Na'Vi did just go away there. They crumbled. Apparently, they were fighting behind the stage. There was, you could see there was tensions there. One of them just stayed on stage the whole time during map 1 to map 2. And then in the context of the tournament, I mean, I actually did not expect Luminosity to be winning. I thought to myself, after what I'd seen before, they usually get to like a semi-final, maybe a final on the other tournament, but usually when the top teams aren't all there, and they usually lose in narrow fashion. So I actually thought to myself, if they get put in that position again, they're probably going to be like a semi-finalist team. I thought they're better than the past when they made quarterfinals, but for me, the champion was going to be Na'Vi, it was going to be Fnatic, maybe some sort of outside crazy pick like an Astralis. So yeah, it's quite shocking to me that we've got like a South American world champion now.
Yeah. So let's just talk about how you feel about Counter-Strike in general with the first North American major.
Well, one of the interesting things is Counter-Strike's obviously been a European game for a long time. I mean, that might change now. It's like a South American team as the champion. But when you look at the history of the North American region, it's not just that there wasn't people investing into it, but people always said like, oh, maybe they like other games in North America. Maybe CS isn't as big there anymore. That was always the excuse they used because of the fact they weren't very good at the game, I think. And people say, oh, people don't play it enough. People are into console games. Obviously, we're MLG now. That's more the grassroots thing in North America. But I always knew, first of all, North America has lots of sports stadiums.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be venues you could do it in. You just have to find the right place where if you put on the right show, I've always thought this with Counter-Strike, if you put on the right show, then the people come to it. It's like Field of Dreams thing. So as we found with the first major, before the first major, we weren't getting like 100K people watching. But you put on the first major, now there is 100K. And every major, it's going up and up and up. Not everyone broke the record, but they're all getting to a really high level. So just as with the majors, that put into place where now we're at a position where we've got millions watching. I think North America was an obvious place to come. I mean, this has got some of the best sports stadiums in the world. The fans here in general, yeah, they might have chanted USA when the USA teams were playing, but they always cheered when other people made a good play. There was plenty of Na'Vi fans here that I'm pretty sure weren't from Ukraine. So I think it's an ideal place to have a major, and as is Germany, as is a bunch of countries. So I think hopefully they'll have more majors here.
What do you think of the crowd here? Luminosity basically was down most of the map, and the crowd was basically booing them, like every play nearly. I mean, do you think that was a big factor in like their like resilience or overcoming adversity there?
I noticed they did have their own little section. I think it was mainly the people who like their friends and family, kind of their entourage was trying to be loud, trying to get them going.
I heard some soccer cheers.
Yeah. Here's the thing. My theory on that's always been that I think it's overblown how much like home field advantage helps in video games. To me, it's less that it helps. Like, I think if you're on the high of, like, you're doing really well and then the crowd's cheering, maybe that gives you a little bit extra. But that's kind of a double-edged sword, too, because then maybe you're so pumped up, trying to make some extra crazy play, and maybe that's too much. I usually say it's on the other end that I think it's interesting, because what will happen is the teams who are really meant to be resilient, like Fnatic last year, Fnatic basically was almost like the road team every tournament, even in Sweden, because people don't like Fnatic. People like NIP if they're in Sweden, and then in other countries, they don't like Fnatic for obvious reasons. Yeah. But Fnatic still won all the tournaments. They never shook them. So I think the crowd usually is only a factor in this key area, which is if you're someone who, that is the extra pressure to you. Like, you're already maybe like a little bit sensitive, like an Astralis type team, and then the pressure of the crowd being against you, maybe that gets in your head. So I think it's only if the psychology of the competitor itself lets it in. And what we saw from Luminosity here is, I mean, you obviously saw it in map 1 of this final, is like they wouldn't be broken mentally. So even though it's true, Team Liquid certainly made some big mistakes in the semi-finals that allowed Luminosity to get the 2 map wins as opposed to maybe even being 3 maps. I mean, you can't just make out like it was only Team Liquid, because you can offer someone opportunities, but you have to be very good to take them. And to take them where you're taking 10 rounds, 11 rounds in a row, that's fantastic execution.
What do you think of there being 2 North American teams in the Legends now?
It's certainly interesting. I mean, it's deserved, because this is why I said, when you saw the teams made it and they were going to play each other, that's what felt cheap, because you're thinking, oh, well, that ensures a North American team makes it. And it's not the same as if, like, say Team Liquid instead had to play someone who finished second, so Virtus Pro, for example. Then you'd obviously be like, wow, if you can beat Virtus Pro, you totally deserve the semi-final spot. But think about this. The only reason why Team Liquid was there is because they beat, first of all, FaZe, who was a top 10 ranked team. So there's number 1. You're in the winner's match there. Then they beat Fnatic, the most dominant team in the entire world. So that's how they got the number 1 slot. And then how did they get the number 2 slot for the CLG? That wasn't just luck that they were through. They had to be envious to get there. Then they had to win in the best of 3. So in that scenario, you could just kind of say it's totally legit that the pairing came like that. And yeah, it was fortunate, certainly. Like, I'll give you an example. Astralis was the number 1 seed. I'm sure they'd have loved to see CLG there in that round of 8, you know. Didn't happen. All these tournaments have different drawing systems, so I think it was entirely legit. And obviously, when we saw the semi-final, now all that just talk about, like, oh, it's a fluke in the quarterfinals, they were lucky to get CLG. They almost went to the final here, and the team that they were playing ended up winning the tournament. So I think the whole thing ultimately legitimizes Team Liquid's spot, the 2 North American teams, and kind of the system.
All right, well, I want to thank you for taking time to talk to me, and for everybody else, this is Yahoo Esports.